So I am Holly Pendergast. I'm a life and business coach, and I have Tori with me. She is one of my former clients. We worked together for a little over a year. So we're going to talk about what she was able to create over that year and how she's been able to totally change her business, but also a lot of things in her personal relationships. And so this is a major celebration and testament to you, Tori. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Tori. I am a yoga instructor and a financial advisor helping young female entrepreneurs of color with their personal financial plans. And I've been working with Holly for a little bit over a year, and it's just completely transformed my life and like my
Yeah.
thinking and my just how my being essentially.
Yes. Okay, so tell us a little bit about who you were, what kinds of like behaviors you were doing maybe unconsciously, and kind of like introduce us to Tori a year ago versus Tori today. You
Wow.
did a lot
Okay.
of deep work.
Yeah. I think so. When we first started working together, and the reason why we first started working together was because I was interviewing for the manager position for the Los Angeles office. So I'd be managing advisors, and it was kind of the next step that I wanted to take in my career as a leader. And I was really, it felt like the next step. I felt like a change in like the title would give me, would make me a leader and would give me a little bit more power. I was a little bit more like graspy. Like
Mm,
I need to identify as a leader through this title and through this position to be a leader.
mm,
And I was operating a lot of time through scarcity
mm,
and there not being enough, like time, money, clients,
mm.
resources. I was kind of like operating through that mindset, and which is really stressful.
Yeah.
And like
Stressful.
in terms of like relationships, like friendships, family relationships, like romantic relationships, and through my business partners, my relationship with them and my team, it kind of like manifested through those
Mm,
for sure.
mhm. And tell us, like, because I think when we first started working together, you didn't have any idea or anything on the horizon in terms of this new branch of your whole entire business. So
Yes.
kind of walk
Yeah.
us through like where you were and how you surpassed your goal of the making
Mhm.
money this year. Been your biggest year, right? Which is so exciting.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
who you are now and what it opened up for you.
Yeah. So when we first started working together, as a financial advisor, I can work with anybody out
Mhm,
there,
mhm,
essentially like that has money or that is motivated to work on their financial well-being.
mhm,
And so that it's super broad.
mhm,
And I wasn't really speaking to anybody in particular.
mm,
I kind of narrowed it down to teachers, public service employees, and nonprofit organizations, which is a good niche.
mhm.
Um, but I wasn't it wasn't as specific as I wanted it to be, and it wasn't the demographic that fueled fire from within.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I don't know if you remember, as if it's not your life and your goal. But when you came with this idea of like, oh, this is how I want to make impact, it was such a huge pivotal moment because you went from wanting a manager position and a leadership position that way to actually showing up in this huge gigantic way in which you will make that impact you were actually craving, but it happened in a way that you couldn't have guessed, right? Because you had to go through that
Yes.
process of, oh, I want this. Oh, actually, this isn't for me. Oh, actually, I want this. And now you're in such a different place. So cool.
Yes, exactly. It was like a narrowing. I guess a redefining of what a leader looks like,
Mhm.
and being a leader without the title, like being a leader from the inside, or like inspiring, like giving power to my new niche
Mhm.
versus power over, or
Yeah,
from a
much
title. Yeah.
more soul led than externally led. So beautiful. It's so beautiful to watch
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, what was it like for you to work with me one-on-one and get coached weekly? I mean, we went for like over a year. That's like over 50 sessions, like
Every
pretty
week.
much straight. What was that like for
Yeah.
you? If somebody's out there thinking like, I don't know, that's kind of a lot, what would you describe
Yeah.
how it was for you?
Yeah. Honestly, kind of a lot happens in a week.
Yeah, it does. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens in a week?
Really. I mean, from business, and from client interactions that I needed to process,
Mhm,
or just like talk through with you,
mhm,
to like family relationships, or like big events coming up that I was having anxiety about, or needed to like reframe my thinking about. It was just so helpful to have somebody to like hand me out,
mhm,
and look at the bigger picture, and like reframe some of my thinking, or like to get a third party like look at,
mhm.
are my thoughts actually reality, or is it just me thinking from my primitive mind? And like that's okay, and you always led with compassion in our conversations too. And I it just helped me be who I wanted to from the inside out in every week, like for the last 50 weeks, essentially.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the fun stuff, but lead me through, like, what do you feel like was the hardest part about working together and coaching together, or something that felt really big for you that you overcame? And then we'll talk about the fun stuff.
Okay. So, spoiler, I didn't end up getting the manager position,
Mhm,
and it led to other things. Um, but going through the interview process and processing emotions of disappointment, of unworthiness, of failure, um, that was definitely hard.
mhm,
Um, Feeling those feelings. Um, and then also, Holly, you encourage me to stay in feelings that are
mhm.
uncomfortable to
Yeah,
experience,
yeah.
which is hard, but so necessary. Like that's where I did so much of my growth,
Mm.
or experienced so much of my growth. Um, so that was hard. And then also, just questioning my, um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else.
Or what was like the
I guess
biggest
I guess redirecting
mm,
my initial path
mhm,
of what I thought was success in my mind, or what like defined success,
mm,
and like slowly reworking my, like what I've always thought was that the path to a
mhm.
different path. Like we made it look different, because it ended up
Mm.
being different.
Yeah, we did a lot of like crumbling of like what
Yes.
what you thought was what you wanted to really bring out what you are now doing, right?
Yeah.
What was
Mhm.
like the biggest game changer for you in terms of like coaching together? What was like the biggest thing that was like, oh my gosh, this was the catalyst of growth? Was there like a specific tool or something that you could think about?
I think just, and um, this is also a tool in like meditation and yoga, but just noticing my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
noticing my initial thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
then knowing that they're just thoughts, like they don't define me as a person,
Yeah.
and like reframing thoughts to then change my
Yeah.
actions and then results. Yeah,
Yes.
that's completely like a complete game changer.
Right. Because we all start with our
Yeah.
default reaction or default thoughts about what should be going on. And you did this so well. And that's why your results are so crazy cool and good, is that,
Hmm.
or amazing, I should say, is because you were like, oh, default, notice it. And then who do I want to be in this situation? And
Hmm.
that's really, I think, where I've seen most of your like huge self-concept growth has been, is embodying who you
Yeah.
want to be versus the default mode.
Yes, and definitely like visualizing
Mm,
who I want to see 5 years from now or 1 year from now, and acting from that person,
mhm,
and in my day-to-day actions too.
mm. Okay, so that was like the hard stuff. What was the most fun part for you?
The most fun parts were definitely celebrating with you,
Yes,
or
we
like
do a
you
lot of that.
encouraging me to celebrate,
Yes.
like even just like the smallest things.
Yes.
Like I would be like, oh yeah, of course that's, that happened, and like that's
Mhm.
supposed to happen that way,
Yes.
like, and you're like, wait, this is huge, like we should
Yeah.
super celebrate that. And so just like the little wins
Mhm.
and the big wins, just always having my hype woman
Yes.
to celebrate big things.
Mhm. How do
Yeah.
you think that's affected that fun part, that celebrating? How do you think that's affected like who you are now?
I think celebrating big wins and small wins,
Mhm.
all the wins,
Yeah.
and growth and the hard
Mhm.
things. We
The
we
hard
celebrated
thing.
hard things too.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, I think it helped me to have just self-compassion and
Mhm.
be like less critical about the way that something turned out, or I guess just like looking forward, looking at paying attention to the good things,
Mm.
and
And
that like has elevated my I just excitement for the future. Yeah.
mhm. Well, what did it open up for you now that you were like looking at positive things going on? Because that's what celebration does, is it begets more positivity, right? So what do you feel like
Yeah.
it changed for you specifically in your life?
Um, at the list.
We made a list of Tori's celebrations at our last session, and I had her look at
It's
them.
a long list.
It's a
It's a
long
long list.
ass list. I'm thinking of one thing because you got married this year.
Oh yeah, I
Oh
did.
yeah. Like October, early October. And
Yeah.
I think a huge, because we worked on like being present, and I feel like that was a huge win that you were able to be at your wedding and enjoy it.
Hmm.
What do you think? That's just my guess.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because there's a lot that
Yeah.
goes on
Yeah.
during wedding planning, and hiring the professionals to help you with such a momentous day, and like a special day, that um, it's easy to look at the possible things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely during that day, um, I mean, nothing went super perfect, but
Mhm.
just noticing and being present for the time the special times that I had with Alex,
Mhm.
that made that day
Mm.
even more special. Like just like the intimate moments.
Yeah. As a guest, I was there. I had the pleasure and honor of witnessing this beautiful day and also like coaching her just on normal, like like Tori was saying, it's a huge event. And as a wedding photographer previously, I know the stresses of what it's like to be behind the scenes with the bride
Yeah.
and freaking out and all the perfect details. And you were such a like at peace bride from an observer view. And I could sense that you were
Yeah.
you were like taking time and you weren't all like nervous and frantic like a lot of brides can be because they don't have a lot of mindfulness
Mm,
tools to help them regulate
yeah.
their nervous system or manage their own energy because there's so much energy that's going on a wedding day with family and friends, and it's such a huge day and you handled it like so
Fun.
beautifully. And then
Yeah, it was the morning of my wedding,
Mhm.
and like during the wedding planning process and like by working with you, I felt really confident to hire or I guess to delegate and hire professionals and pay
Yes.
professionals, like make the investment in professionals that would take things off of my plate wedding day.
Yes.
And the morning of my wedding day, I was like looking around, everybody's like running around. I'm just like, I feel like I should be more stressed right now, but I'm feeling really chill. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was able to enjoy eat, literally each and every moment.
Yeah.
Very, very present. Yeah.
Yeah. I also
I was
want
able
to
to do yoga the morning of my wedding
yeah,
too. Like,
she did. We like created a whole plan so that she can be in this
yeah.
place together. And I
Hmm.
saw her coming back from yoga. I know she did it.
You did. I saw you.
um
I was like, I'm so happy to see you.
um Oh my God. Oh, your self-concept as a CEO in delegating for your wedding also
Hmm.
helped you, I think, from the outsider view, is look at how
Yeah.
can you delegate in your business in a huge way too? Because it how you do one
Yeah.
thing is how you do everything. So if you're overprotective over your business, you're going to want to be in everything and do all the things, but we can't, right? Because you're only one
Right.
human. And I saw you really big this past year delegate not only like your wedding was like a symptom of like, ah, of course I'm delegating this. I'm not taking this on. I'm the
Right.
CEO or I am the
Yeah.
bride. Why would I be setting up tables? Right.
Right.
So
Right. Exactly.
yeah. And you were able to develop a whole new branch and on taking of your business, which is just mega CEO move.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at like when before you signed up to work together, what were you like concerned about and worried about that other people might be in the same shoes right now, where they're like, I kind of want to work with Holly, but I'm nervous, and kind of give us a
Mm.
background on what kept you back and maybe kind of help them with their fears.
Yeah. So I I mean, working with or hiring a coach,
Mhm.
a coach knows their worth and will charge what they're worth. And
Not always.
so I was oh, not always the
Not
good one.
always,
I mean, not the good ones,
but yeah,
but you
it is
know,
an
yeah,
investment for sure.
right. And so I was a little bit nervous about the investment, and that was also something that we worked on in the beginning too. Was just addressing money drama and thoughts and feelings around money,
Mhm.
which I'm a financial advisor, so that also helped
Mhm.
me coach my clients
Mhm.
in addressing their thoughts and feelings about the market or about their own debt, and that has been huge. That we could talk about that for an hour, honestly.
Right.
Um, but I I I knew that working with you would get me the results that would make allow me to think bigger
Mm,
and allow me to like free up some of my time by implementing some of these tools that we worked on together um, that would allow me to increase revenue. I just knew that working with you would expand my thinking
mhm.
and therefore expand my capacity to receive money.
Huge, right?
Honestly,
Yeah,
yeah,
I used to think like this too. Is like, oh my gosh, it's this amount of money, and I was focusing so hard on the amount and the price,
right,
somebody else's price, versus, but what am I gonna get from this experience? What am I gonna choose to go create with this new knowledge or this new kind of thinking that I have, or access to new tools? What do you feel like you got from an experience of investing for a whole year? Tori invested for a
Yeah.
whole year, right? What do you feel like you got for
hmm
the investment?
Yeah. So, I mean, just from a dollars perspective, but I got way more from that. Our revenue, my team's revenue increased by 44% this year.
44?
So it's just a lot. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
that much.
Best year so far.
I
Yeah.
knew it's the best year so far,
Yeah.
but damn, girl. Yes.
Yes. I know.
It's
It's
amazing.
insane. But just like you said, my self concept and knowing that investing in my mind, my brain, and my um my leadership skills and like relationship skills and all of that was worth
Hmm.
that investment. Like
Why?
I
Why was it worth it to you?
it made me think bigger. It made me it helped me work with more compassion. Like it just improved
Mhm.
my relationships, like from just my client relationships to my romantic relationship and to my working relationships, my friendships, my family relationships, just improved my life way far beyond the investment that I put into
Mhm. Mhm.
coaching with you.
Yay. That's so fun to hear.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
how do you feel like this has affected your like body language, your closet, your style has come out a lot more recently? You're like,
Yeah,
tell me a little
totally.
bit about that, because that's like the internal work that you did to move all those internal mountains, and big shifts that were giant shifts are now reflecting in your outer world. That's why your business is doing so well. Tell me like intricate details that you're willing to
Yeah.
share.
Okay. So these earrings
Look at
are
them. Look at them. They're a statement.
fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah, and how you've really encouraged me to not play small or not like minimize myself
Hmm.
and to align with like what society would think or
Mm.
would like to think about me. Like I feel like I'm able to dress more boldly. I'm able to present myself more boldly, share my ideas more boldly, just be out there in the world and in my community and with my clients in a lot more of an authentic way.
Hmm.
Um, and knowing that putting on the lipstick or putting on
Yeah.
the earrings is like a lot bigger than just putting on the lipstick and putting on the
Yeah.
earrings.
Yeah. It's the difference between expressing from the inside out from, oh, I'm just gonna put on this outfit or this color or these earrings or this lipstick. It's like what's happening here, and what happens with all my clients and what you can see with Tori here,
Yeah,
is it comes from inside and expresses itself outside. So it's not like a oh, be like me coaching, and it's not a here, just put this on, you're going to feel better. It's truly a, who do I want to
right,
be
right.
today, and how do I want to show that, and how do I want to embody who I'm becoming versus who I have been. And who I have been, most likely, when we're not like investigating our thoughts, is just what society tells us would be a good idea for us.
Right.
And we should, be not too loud, but not too boring, but not too loud, like don't have too many ideas, or too smart. You don't want to make other people blah blah blah, right? And you have totally done so much work to take up space in,
hmm
I've totally seen it in your business taking up space, and in the world, like by visually taking up space and creating some movements and some aesthetics, right? You can't not see her and be like, Who is that? I need to know her. What is she selling? What is she doing? Because I need some of that. You
Mhm.
have so beautifully really taken that on. And it's just a testament to all this internal work that you've had the courage of
Yeah.
doing because, and I just want to celebrate you again for coming with your sincerity and your curiosity and willingness to grow and learn, because not everybody wants to do that work. Right. And it
Right.
is scary
Right.
to like face our own shit and be like, here it is. And I got
Yes.
this. Let's grow this. This is not working for me now. Is like so many people will spend their whole life not even looking at their own belief systems. And if they're right for them now, today, they'll just adopt what other people believe because they haven't either had desire to change or interest or had the courage to invest in themselves is a huge part. I think really
Right.
spending
Right.
money on yourself and your brain and your soul and your understanding is like the biggest, most baller move you could do because it's betting on yourself and
It
your
is. It totally is. I just believing that you like believing in your abilities and your power to create a business or to have an impact on other people and yourself by investing in yourself is just a huge move.
It's big. And this is why like on
Big.
consults I celebrate. I'm like, we have to celebrate before we begin because sometimes this is the hardest part is
Yeah.
coming onto a call and saying, hey, I want this for myself. Whether you sign up to
Hmm.
work with a coach or me or not, that act is huge. It's actually a declaration of like, I want this for myself and I'm going to make it happen. This is why I think like paying is such a powerful action in and of itself is like, yes, it's committing to it. Yes.
Right.
Um,
One thing
yeah, please.
about just lighting the fire from within when I was marketing to teachers and public service employees and nonprofits, although I love them so much, um, I kind of the delivery was kind of just not as excited.
Mhm.
And then in talking through with you who would really light my fire to work with, in narrowing down that niche, like I got so reinvigorated and
Mhm.
lit from within. And when I was sharing that with family and friends and colleagues, they're like, whoa, like you are like I can see you just like lit up from within. Like they could see it and they're like excited about it.
Yeah.
So that just shift
Huge.
was huge. Yeah.
How do you feel like that shift that's firing you up? How does that affect how you feel like at the end of a work day? Because you're like now lit with from within versus when you were like, I like my job, but now you're in such a different place.
Yeah. I can picture my person. Like I can picture who I'm
Mhm.
working a long day for, or I can
Mhm.
picture like what I can envision like what a perfect society in the future looks like if I were
Mhm.
to achieve my mission.
And you got a big
Like
old question.
empowered women
Yeah.
with money,
Yes.
empowered women of color with money,
Mhm.
and how that could reshape society. Like
I'm
I
gonna
can
ask,
visualize that in
yeah.
my mind.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a big question. How do you think that will reshape the world?
I think that will redefine what it looks like to have wealth in America
Yeah. And with
than what
those,
it is right now.
yeah, and with more women and women of color with money, how do you see the world changing? No big deal.
Yeah, I can see the world becoming more diverse, and
Mhm.
I mean having diverse communities in positions of power and affecting change so that they can serve the communities that are underserved right now.
Oh my God, that's so huge,
And it's
right?
like affecting lives. Yeah.
Yes, it's so grassroots because of how our system is set up now that it's like if the grassroots change, everything else is going to change along with it. Such a beautiful niche.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
And I've drawn like inspiration from my grandmas,
mhm,
and like at the end of every day, I'm like, it just comes back to building a legacy for women to like your daughters to come in the future, and
mm,
like living out your grandmothers or grandmas or
yeah,
like ancestors before dreams of what was possible for you
yeah. They could not
by
have
finding power
fathomed,
and money.
right?
Right.
Because there wasn't equality. There couldn't like it, we're just beyond their wildest dreams, as that quote says, is like, and wow,
Yes.
look what you're doing to create momentum in that area. It's so huge. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, what actionable advice would you give someone who's contemplating in joining my 6-month program that, as you know, is super in depth and also super fun? What actionable advice would you give?
Yeah. I would suggest talking it through with you.
Mm,
Like in thinking about whether or not they want to make that investment, I think you can help them look at their initial thoughts and
mhm,
look at what feelings that's creating, and therefore what actions and results is happening
right.
as they're considering working with you,
Mhm,
because that can probably say a lot. um,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I just want to like talk about my experience really quick for people that are listening, that I'm usually a very hesitant buyer as well. And there are experiences where I was just like, I'll just wait till later. I'll just, save more money, or I will just wait until my next client, or I will just wait until they offer this thing
Yeah.
again. And what I was really doing is prolonging my success because I
Yeah.
wasn't willing to feel the emotion of betting on myself, of being like,
Yes.
fuck yes. When my gut knew I want to do this program, or I want to grow in this specific way, or I want to change how I'm feeling about money and be able to receive more. Like I knew what my next point of growth was and who I wanted to do it with. And I waited and I stalled and I have lost years of my life. So if you're listening to
Yeah.
this and you're like, I'm just waiting for the right time, know that there isn't a right time, but you are living right now. And the time
Yeah.
to change is
Hmm.
always in the moment. There's no other time. There's just today. And so
Right.
your gut knows. And I like to like talk about this on consult too, is like have a feel about it. What does your
Yeah.
gut
Yeah.
say? Right? Because the brain's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm gonna change my whole life. And that seems uncomfortable. And I don't want to know. And then I'm gonna spend this money. And the brain's like all chatter because it doesn't like change. But the heart and the
Right.
gut are love oriented, growth oriented, instinctual. It's like when we lead with that, oh my gosh, our decisions are so different. So yeah, if you are watching this and
Yes.
you're like, okay, now I need to know more, you can sign up for the consult for me, obviously.
Yeah.
And I
Bet
would
on
love to talk to
yourself.
you.
That's a huge
It's a
move to
huge
start.
one that we're not
Yeah.
taught. We're taught like, oh, celebrate others, give to others, right? Or you can't have that big of a dream. Who are you to have that big of a dream or
Right.
goal or business or money desires, right? It's so huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Tori, anything else you want to let the peoples know before we wrap up?
Um, just do the work, I would say, and invest
Do
in
it.
yourself. And honestly, Holly's the most caring and compassionate coach. And it's been amazing working with you, Holly. You've literally changed my whole life. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. It's been so fun to watch you grow. And yes, I've adored coaching you. And you can always come back whenever you want. But go ahead and tell the people how they can find you. How do they work with you? Who would be a good fit to come into your
Yes.
Give us all the details.
Yes. So I work with female entrepreneurs of color to help them achieve their financial goals and to find power in their money. And you can follow me on Instagram at Tori and Alex _Satera, or our website, www.toriandalex@.saterainvestors.com. And yeah, I'm taking on new clients. Would love to work with young female entrepreneurs of color, help them to find power in their money.
Amazing. And I'll leave those contacts in the notes for this testimonial. But yeah, thank you so much for spending time. And I hope you feel so amazing having celebrated all these huge wins that you've created. And yeah, thanks, Tori, for being here.
Thanks so much, Holly.